build up. ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
Live and local.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
This thing is going to be a financial and cultural disaster.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Whopper, 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 whopper.
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's a lot of bit Amish. Johnny Yankee Seed in the building. He's like, I'm loving this wild, estranged beard look from you. And Johnny Yankee Seed, you have a very nice beard, but a lot more kept up than what I have going on. Jack Patterson in the house with us as well. We'll be talking about Wrestling Against Cancer 10 coming up at 4:40. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick and Bone Crusher sporting the Waffle House on the ones and twos. We're the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Caveman Rick, in the next segment, I'm going to have you tell everyone how they can get 2 passes to see the Orlando Magic take on the Sacramento Kings. But for now, you can keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida on your smart speaker for in-home listening. Just say, Alexa, this also works with Siri, but Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean your sports talk and live play-by-play end. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. If needed, head over to ESPNPC.com and click Enable Skill. Caveman Rick, how's it going, man? I know that you're ready right now for your Rams and your Eagles, me and Johnny Yankee Seed sitting over here kind of homeless in a sense because we do not have a team in the playoffs. Jack Patterson, I don't know, who's your playoff team or who's your NFL team?
Miami Dolphins.
Oh, yep. Same right there. You're in the same building with us. We're just over here watching the playoffs, just happy with what it is that we get. But how do you feel about your Rams and your Eagles?
Well, happy Friday, guys. Feel pretty good today. Hope you guys are too. Feeling pretty good this weekend. I like our chances. Can't wait. That all being said, like real quick though, I mean, I don't want to fast forward too much. I mean, that game's not it's the third game of the slate, right? It's the early game on Sunday. There's 2 good games going to be played on Saturday too, so I'm going to be able to enjoy those too before I get into my game. Kind of can't wait. Want to see what's going to happen. Want to have some redemption from last season, make a good run. Sorry, we got our boy Richard Head, Johnny Yankee Seed in here.
Why are you saying sorry about that?
Well, because I was about to go here.
They've been sorry all year long. So.
Here we got.
Hey, we were sorrier. We're the number one.
A year, more like the last decade.
Hey, Pat.
Well, we got Saquon, and he's running all over the place and looking good and having a good time. So, I know like those Giants fans are hurting probably right now. And, well, I guess all you guys talking about your teams too, not being in the playoffs, all in kind of quarterback limbo, if you will. You got Tua, not knowing what's going on with him. Should he hang him up, and call it a career?
Pause. Jack Patterson, Tua Tagovailoa. Should he be back for 2025?
No, I don't think so.
What do you think he should do? Become the medical manager for the Miami Dolphins?
My personal opinion, I think he needs to quit playing football. Personal opinion, because he gets hurt all the time.
What do you think the Dolphins should do, though, right? Because, all right, if you don't have Tua, then you have to go into another direction, which would be you're not getting Cam Ward, you're not getting Shadur Sanders. Do you think Jalen Milroe transforms the Miami Dolphins? Do you think Quinn Ewers transforms? Because there's not many quarterbacks. I think Cam Ward would fit in tremendously with the Dolphins. Are they going to jump up to get number 1? I don't think so.
No.
That's my issue is I think that if you're the Dolphins, you maybe draft someone, depending on where you're at, when they come up on the draft board. But I think that you at least give Tua 1 more year because Mike McDaniel has given him the best opportunity, and there's not many quarterbacks that fit into that system.
Personally, right now, I think Dan Marino could come back and do better than Tua.
Ouch.
You think who?
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino could come back and do better.
Ice toner gloves, yo.
This is why we're talking about Wrestling Against Cancer 10 at 4:40 this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm just playing. I like Tua if he just didn't get hurt so much, man.
Right.
He stays hurt all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, You really
and as
can't
a wrestler,
build a team
that's kind of
around-
hard to understand, ain't it? Because it's like, get up and get ready for the next round.
Right.
I agree with that, man. I do agree with that. 850-215-6290 is the number to call. And tonight, what's it, Friday evening? I think we got some Magic basketball coming on the airways for you guys this evening. And then tomorrow is going to be Auburn basketball. It's going to be NFL football, and then Sunday all day NFL football as well. Caveman Rick, back to your Eagles. Listen, Saquon Barkley has been a beast. Actually, let's go to Johnny Yankee Seed real quick because I don't want to give you too much airtime today, Caveman Rick.
That's
just
cool.
how
I get
feeling.
enough.
I know, and that's exactly how I feel. Johnny Yankee Seed, do you root like silently for Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles because of what Saquon did for you guys? And I see the little side eye that you just gave Caveman Rick. So there's got to be a little bit of truth to that statement.
I'm going to give you a little parallel here.
Oh, I love parallels.
the-
Parallel parking, you good at it?
Yes. Well, you have to be in
You
New
have to
England.
be where
I'm from, you have to be.
What about you, Jack? You good at parallel parking?
I've parallel parked a semi truck before.
Oh, well,
I got a
that
class.
comes- Yeah, he's great at parallel parking.
Well, I ain't that great. I didn't say I was great, but I had to do it.
If you did it with a semi truck, I would assume that you're great at it. I would say that for me, F plus.
I'm good at horizontal parking. Great at it.
I'm good at vertical parking.
So I've actually had this discussion lately with the guys at work. A lot of SEC football fans. When one of their teams lose, they seem to root for the other one in the playoffs. I can't get behind.
That's only
it.
an SEC thing.
It's weird to me. It's weird energy. I find it appalling. I find it disgusting. No offense, Rick. You're a good guy, but I hate your team. It's one of the worst.
No,
in
you can
sports.
say you hate Rick
I feel it.
Stutz,
He
and
loathes my
most
team.
people listening would agree with you.
I don't think people get it. Like you wish very ill on the players of other teams
Yeah.
up there where we're from. It's nasty, and that's included. I'm a Yankee fan. I feel the same way about the Red Sox.
Yeah, Jason Kelsey goes and puts on a Cowboys uniform, and boy, like, you're dead to me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't want to go there. I didn't
If
know if
he
we could
did
say
that
that.
though as a
but it's that-
retiree, that's totally
Well, maybe I'm just
that's totally different
That's
though.
serious.
But
though.
even then, but no, hold on. Even then, like, okay, here's the thing, too. The dude played his whole career in Philly. He put on the Mumbers costume when they won the Super Bowl, made the speech. You know, like, he never has to basically probably pay for a meal or a beer in the city of Philadelphia ever again the rest of his life. It would be an insult if he was to put on a Dallas Cowboys jersey at this point.
Ooh, okay.
You know,
Well-
I mean, like, go all in or don't go in at all.
Well,
What
when
you got, Jack?
Jameis Winston went to NFL, I didn't. I like Jameis Winston. He had a lot of good field, but his off-field stuff wasn't very good at all.
Crab legs.
But he's a good player on the field. He just ain't been with the right team, I don't think, to do anything. That's my opinion.
All right. Well, so wait. So you don't think that Jameis Winston could be a viable quarterback for any other team in the NFL? You don't think that he did a good job for the? I'll put it this way. I like, just in terms of his sound bites, I'll be okay with Jameis Winston. I know that we're only going to get 5 wins, maybe 6 wins out of him, but I take Jameis Winston for a season.
I like to have him in Miami Dolphins in myself.
Yeah,
personally.
right. Yeah, that's where I'm at. How would you feel about him with the Giants? We're not we're talking about non-playoff teams over here, Caveman Rick. Stay out of this conversation.
I do not feel the same. I thought that there was maybe a chance he could be a decent quarterback
but
after
come
the
on,
surgery.
Jameis Winston and Malik Neighbors is
Surgery,
like,
what, LASIX?
Yeah, I thought maybe there was an eye issue, and apparently there wasn't.
Yeah, I think a
So,
lot of us kinda had that
we were
hope.
all tricked.
Too
And,
many
uh,
interceptions.
I
Too
think
many
we-
interceptions.
Yeah, I think we have enough tape on him to know that he is a career backup, and he's going to be great if someone needs him for 4 to 6 weeks. But other than that, yeah, no, I'm good.
All right, what about you? How would you deal with Jameis Winston taking over for Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee as the backup for the Philadelphia Eagles? I love how we're talking about backup quarterbacks
Yeah, I
right
wouldn't
now
like it.
instead of the NFL playoffs.
We can do better than that. So yeah, no, I'll just leave it at that. You know,
All right,
Won't
there
get
we
too
go.
mean-
Was there any truth to that I heard about Aaron Rodgers might go to the Dolphins?
I think that Aaron Rodgers right now is in a position where he can go where a team who wants him, he can go there. Like if there was rumors, what was it 3 years ago? 3 years ago that he bought a house in Nashville.
Yeah.
If the Titans wanted him,
Or
he could go
property.
there. Please don't. Let's please not go that direction. If the Giants wanted him, I think he needs to get out of New York. I think that is the. I'm not going to say the goal. I don't know. I don't think anyone understands the brain or the mind of Aaron Rodgers and what it is that he actually wants. Where do you think, Caveman Rick? Where do you think the best landing spot would be for Aaron Rodgers?
There's probably not one, to be honest. He has to go someplace where he can't be as big of an influence as he was, like, say, with the New York Jets. You know, yes, he has some clout. Yes, he can go.
Where's that going to be, though?
Yes, he can go into a locker room. Yes, he's got some credibility because of what he's done in the past, winning MVPs, winning the Super Bowl. But for him to be going in there, you know, I don't want to say like being like a LeBron James, almost like calling shots, determining who's the head coach.
No,
or
that's
general
what
manager
it is, though. That's exactly. I think that's the closest comparison.
Right. So this is where I was going with this. So like, if you're going to go to that like extreme, or you're going to go down that road and look at him that way, the real only answer then is for him to probably go to like Dallas, because then he fits in. You know. That's like how they do things over there, you know? So he would fit totally, you know, in with Jerry Jones and that circus over there.
Johnny Exceed. He's like, listen, as soon as you said something, like, he started raising his hand. I'm like, okay, I feel like the teacher in class right now.
I just feel like the light, like you said in New York, Dallas, same thing. It's going to be bad because they've got it. The media has it out for him, obviously. We know why. But the guy loves ayahuasca. Just
so
saying.
Send him down south, send him to Brazil.
No,
like,
I'm saying send him to Washington. They love that stuff out there.
Oh, really?
Seattle, maybe move Geno Smith. We know what he is. Put him out there. That could be different out there, smaller market.
So bring Geno Smith back to the east side.
Somewhere else.
Okay, but Geno Smith. He's in his time in Seattle, but each year he's climbed.
Above average.
Come on, tell me that you wouldn't like a quarterback that gets better. I'm not saying Geno Smith. I'm just saying a quarterback in general that gets better as each year goes by.
He was a Giant before in Seattle. He was actually there. He actually started the game for Eli Manning when they benched him.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
So
he
was good. I've seen him in a Giant uniform. It wasn't this good. I think he's in the right system.
That's kind of funny. That did choke me up a little bit because I was not ready for that. Yeah, he's been there. He's done that. He's got the T-shirt, and we don't want him wearing this jersey anymore. What about Geno Smith for you over there in Miami?
Yeah, I think he would be pretty good for that team.
I think if you're a Miami fan, I think that it's delusional.
Well, right now they just have Tua and it looks like Tyler Huntley on the depth chart.
Right. No, 100%. And I think Tyler Huntley is also...
He's viable.
He's viable, but I think that Dolphins fans are... Listen, the truth is, when...
We suck, I see.
No, that's... Oh, okay, as a team, yes. But when Tua's at the helm of things and when he's healthy, you guys are a very viable team. The problem is when Tua goes down, it's like, oh my gosh, Tua sucks. And it's like, no, it's not that Tua sucks.
We don't have a line.
Tua can't stay healthy.
You guys got to figure out Tariq Hill.
We don't have a line, offensive line that good, I don't think.
I would say that it's worse because, like, for the Tennessee Titans, they don't have an offensive line. I think the problem is that Tua does not know how to get down. I don't think that Tua knows how to, like, save himself. And that's problematic.
He don't slide either. He don't.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
He slides straight into the defender. Johnny Yankee seat.
I want to say something else about Miami. I've noticed, and it's a deeper issue than Tua.
Oh, here we go. Hot takes from Johnny Yankee seat.
Tua, from my knowledge, has not done well against winning teams, so that is a knock on him. But also, when they seem to get in colder games, the whole team seems to shut down. That may be a leadership issue. Head coach freezing on the sideline. I think they need to get tougher. Like, they're not going to win with that type of mentality. We know cold teams win. Like, they're tough.
As long as I've been a Dolphin fan, I've always known them to be that way. They ain't very good in the cold weather outside. No.
Yeah, so they need to build a dome, and they need to make it like an ice hockey rink in the inside and keep it cold all the time.
Right.
So when it goes to wintertime or the cold months of the year, they're not playing in inclement weather. They're just playing at home.
But don't they have a dome where they can close and open it? Or
for Miami?
Yeah, do they? I can't remember if they do.
And I'm being facetious that way, but I mean, there is something to that.
If you're in Florida and you got to have a dome that you can close and open, well, The fact that go ahead.
It's a mentality thing, though, because Tampa has proven with mentality they can be tough. Warren Sapp, Brooks, you can get
John
those hard.
Lynch.
Yes,
Don't
you can
forget
get
about
those.
John Lynch,
There's plenty of other names, but they're hard-nosed guys. That defense was great. So you need to bring and set that tone early, and they're not a physical team in my eye.
I feel like this is a fun question. Should Florida teams, especially when we're talking about the NFL, but when we talk about the Miami Marlins, right? Not that we talk about them a lot. We don't. The Miami Marlins have an open field. Tampa Bay Rays have a dome that is constructed right now, so they'll be playing at George Steinbrenner Field over there in Tampa. Should Florida teams think a little bit more? I mean, like, the Bucks have been doing it for a while. They have no issue with playing in the outdoor elements, and I think football should be a sport. I know teams are all moving towards the domes because they want the Super Bowls, and I hate that. I hate that that's a factor. I think it's crazy. The Titans are a team that's doing it, and it's crazy because that is the game of football.
That's how you have a home field.
Bowl. We talk about the Dust Bowl. We talk about all of these things, and they are parts of the elements of the game. And the only reason you want a dome is because you want the money that comes with the Super Bowl. And I hate that. Dennis, you're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm borderline phenomenal. Thank you.
Borderline phenomenal. So give me a better
Well,
adjective.
there's always
then.
room for improvement.
Okay.
Word.
All right. Fair
We're
enough.
looking at it.
I do agree with that. What you got for us this afternoon?
Well, y'all were talking about what a good landing spot for Aaron Rodgers would be, and, I think Pittsburgh Steelers might need a quarterback that's a little better than Russell Wilson and you were talking about maybe not be able to take over a franchise, and I don't think the Steelers would allow Aaron Rodgers to do anything he wants to do there with the culture that they have in place.
That's actually a very fair assumption. I don't think that Mike Tomlin would allow Aaron Rodgers to come in and just run the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes, if you will. I don't think that he would. However, I don't think that Mike Tomlin would even allow that to be an opportunity. So that's where I find the problem to be, because I feel like even taking on Russell Wilson, which is not like, see, here's the thing. I don't understand why everyone now is so far out on the Steelers when they were so far in on them early on in the season, and the fact that they, had the season that they had, everyone was like, oh, look at what the Steelers are doing. Look at what the Steelers are doing. Then they lose to the Ravens, which are a team that was supposed to beat the Steelers, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened. What do you think?
Well, the Steelers did beat the Ravens in regular season, and
one time.
Russell Wilson went on that streak, but realistically, coaches don't like coaching him. Players don't like playing with him.
Right.
And he's kind of gotten this bad rap now that, it might be time. He's only on that 1-year contract anyway, so they're going to be looking to address the quarterback room. And what better way than to bring in maybe a drafted quarterback, let him sit behind Aaron Rodgers and kind of do that quarterback in the waiting.
I think that would be beautiful. I think that Mike Tomlin can maybe, if the problem is where the Steelers are going to be drafting at. Are they going to be able to draft a quarterback that is going to be futuristically viable? Then you bring in Aaron Rodgers. Does Aaron Rodgers have the wherewithal? Does he have the care? Actually, let's use that word. Does he have the care? Does he have the empathy? Does he have the passion to turn your drafted quarterback into something that is going to lead the Steelers into the future? I love the take. The thing is
on
the
that
real.
note,
Go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre in Green Bay and got a really bad taste
Okay,
put
but
in his
also,
mouth
all
by the
right,
way
well,
that Brett
real
Favre
quick, let me
treated
stop
him.
you right there. Aaron Rodgers also had Jordan Love in Green Bay, so that is like, this is nonsense.
Right, so
that we're
he's
talking
already
about.
coached one up, and he's doing fine, so I think,
Yeah, but is he
he's
really
already
doing
proven
fine?
himself in
Is
that
he
role
really
to be the
doing
quarterback
fine, though?
mentor.
Thank you so much for the call, my friend. We appreciate it. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, and we will continue continue to take your calls right here on the air. But just want to let you guys know, we're your home for the Auburn Tiger basketball squad, and they're doing pretty daggum good right now. Number 1 in the land. We'll be right back after these messages.
Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Auburn Tigers men's basketball team is ranked number 1 in the country, and they've got another big test tomorrow as they face the number 23 University of Georgia Bulldogs inside the Stegeman Coliseum. We'll have coverage coming up from Athens starting at 11:30, tip-off at noon, right here on your home for the Auburn Tigers and college basketball.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. The rest of the day, mostly sunshine and 63 with a gentle breeze coming out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Tonight, light sprinkles and mostly clouds with lows around 55. Tomorrow, overcast in the morning, but otherwise light showers and a temperature near 68. Moving into Sunday, about the same with a high of 63 and raining lightly. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
They're number 1 in the men's room.
I hope this place comes with toilet paper.
The Afternoon Underdogs
Oh, geez, this is going to be a photo finish.
on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. We have a full house this afternoon. I'm David Hayes, along with Caveman Rick, Johnny Yankee, Jack Patterson, and the Bone Crusher. And this is ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 Panama City, 101.9 in Panama City, your spot for select Orlando Magic games. And tonight, we have the Magic tipping off this evening after the Afternoon Underdogs. Caveman Rick, if we have listeners who would like to go see the Magic in a luxury suite, tell them a little bit about the details of the contest we have going on.
Yeah, you want to go to the ESPN Northwest Florida app. You want to click on the banner that talks about the our trip going on the Holland Hearts bus to the Orlando Magic game against the Sacramento Kings, if I can get it out of my mouth. If you do that, you have your chance to win 2 passes to go to this game on March 29th. You'll get to watch the game, like David said, from a luxury suite, free food during the game, hotels included on this ultimate road trip. You can take in the sights and sounds of Orlando while you're there. Just again, go to the app, click on that banner, enter to win, and watch a cool game with some other ESPN Northwest Florida fans.
And we had Dennis call in, and it was a great call. I hate that we had to rush you off the line. We were up against a break, but Dennis was talking about Aaron Rodgers and possibly being a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I thought it was a great take. I really did. I just don't think that Mike Tomlin would put up with Aaron Rodgers. I really don't think that he would do that. Johnny Yankee Seed, where are you at? Where do you think Johnny Yankee Seed? Where do you think Johnny Yankee Seed would fit in as a quarterback in the NFL? No,
Not
where do
well.
you think not well? What teams do you think right now would fit in or would allow Aaron Rodgers to come in and maybe finish out his career with them?
Small market or a team. The only way it would work in Pittsburgh is if Tomlin absolutely needed to win now. He needs a Hail Mary to save his job. But that
Do you think? Do any of us think that? Real quick, sorry to stop you, but do any of us think that? Do any of us think that Mike Tomlin needs anything to save his job?
Yes.
You think he does?
I do.
I think if anything, Mike Tomlin, if he's out, it's because he wants to be out. Year in and year out, the man makes the playoffs. He has a great team around him, and it's not a great team on paper.
So I'm a Yankee fan.
Garbage. I get it. I know. You're a trash fan.
Making the playoffs is not enough.
Right.
It is not enough.
I'm glad that you're a Giants fan so that you can save a little bit of face here.
I mean, we were good at one point. It's just not recently. But when you're a franchise like the Steelers, you don't accept just making the playoffs.
Right.
And it has gone stale, I think. I think it's a short window here. You can't continue this.
You think the blame is on Tomlin, or is it on the fact that you don't get that franchise? And maybe Dennis is right. Like, Aaron Rodgers could come in and maybe not change the trajectory of that franchise, but bring it to another level. We know what the level of the franchise is that the Jets bring in and year out. And so to take a team that is, always on the outskirts and just turn them into something phenomenal is outlandish, honestly. But if you take the Pittsburgh Steelers, if Dennis is right and the Steelers go after Aaron Rodgers, maybe that does take them to new heights. Caveman Rick, I know you're ready to go. What you got?
All right, first, a new location for Aaron Rodgers I'll mention first before I go into the Pittsburgh thing, but Vegas, that might be a place with the Tom Brady ownership thing. I could see him maybe going in and playing there. Back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, though. It's not a Tomlin thing, and it's not a franchise thing, okay? It's the rest of the league kind of thing. For a long time there, I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers were one of those franchises that annually and perennially every year they were good. They were getting to the playoffs. They drafted well, good ownership, from top to bottom, a well-run franchise, okay?
Right.
The rest of the league, especially in their division, is caught up to them, okay? Baltimore Ravens are a top-notch franchise. They've drafted well throughout many a years, back when Ozzie Newsome was doing all the drafting and stuff, drafting all kinds of great players. Ed Reed, Bart Scott, just to name a few, Along with the Bengals, they've had a rise, and they've gotten a lot better lately. And so has the Browns. Even though with all their quarterbacking woes, they've had, a few decent wide receivers, and they've had a pretty good defense. So they've been able to compete as well. So I don't think it's so much on the Pittsburgh Steelers so much as everybody else around them has gotten better. And so because of that, just by the laws of averages, you're not going to do so well all the time, right? Mm-hmm. But they're still winning 10-plus games a year. They're still going to the playoffs. So there's nothing wrong there other than maybe you're just a little spoiled for a number of years. You're used to having a certain standard, and you haven't been getting to that certain standard. Well, you can do one of a couple of things. I guess you can try to spend some more money or try to find different ways to maybe bring in a little bit more talent than what they've, had recently. Or you just have to kind of sit by and just kind of wait. Your turn will come around again. Some of these other teams might, falter and have some issues, have some woes of their own, and then give you an opportunity. But considering the problems that you've had at quarterback and whatnot, and not having really talented wide receivers and such like you've had in the past, what's there to gripe about if you're a Steelers fan?
850-215-6290 if you'd like to talk about where you think Aaron Rodgers should be in 2025. Go ahead and give us a holler, as Johnny Yankee Seed is going to give us his take.
I agree with you. Tomlin is the man. It's not on him. It is on him, and it's not on him.
To be coaching the Titans.
Here's what I think, though. I think him or someone in that organization has failed to grasp the situation. He is always going to be good. He's always going to have them competing. They're never going to be at the top to get a quarterback. They have to adjust and go get their quarterback.
Yeah.
If it's giving extra picks to get that quarterback, then go get it.
Well, or find a reclamation project like a Sam Darnold.
Well, here's okay.
You try with Russell Wilson, but you overpaid.
They tried that with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson did pretty daggum good this year. Justin Fields came in, had him 4-0 to a certain extent. Then Russell Wilson takes over and they catch fire, but then they lose that fire. They lose that flame towards the end of the season. None of us thought that the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they have as a surrounding cast was going to take out the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs. You can beat them early on in the season, 17-19 or whatever the score was. It's a different beast. It's a different animal when you get to the playoffs and you've got your run game at the peak that it's been at all year long. When you've got, and they were missing Zay Flowers. That's true. But when you are a better team on the ground than your opponent, and here's the other thing. the Steelers, and this is on Tomlin. This is on Tomlin. This is not on Russell Wilson. The Steelers, everyone and their mama knows that the Ravens secondary was garbage this year. Why did you wait until the third quarter with 5 minutes left to go to start throwing it down the middle? You should have been doing that at the beginning of the game. Jack Patterson, your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers and where you think he would fit in 2025?
I think Aaron Rodgers at Pittsburgh, as long as he would do what he's supposed to do and the media would leave him alone.
No. See, the thing is, my real quick to stop you there is, it's not like the media needs to leave Aaron Rodgers alone. Aaron Rodgers needs to leave the media alone because he brings that upon himself. It's like me, so it's like any of us. If any of us had like the pull to be out there with the platform and say stupid things, and then we have to answer for those stupid things, Aaron Rodgers goes on the Pat McAfee show weekly. He says things weekly that are going to get dissected down to the milligram. That's just where he's at,
But yeah, didn't Tomlin take them to the Super Bowl once?
They
won it once. Did they win it once?
Yeah, Lil Wayne made a whole song about green and yellow for the Packers to beat the Steelers, and then he was making the remix of Wiz Khalifa's Black and Yellow.
But the thing is, eventually the Steelers are going to want to go back to the Super Bowl, so they're going to have to get a quarterback like he was saying a while ago.
Yeah.
They're going to have to get a quarterback that's going to take them there, or Tomlin may be looking for another job. I don't know how long that would be, but my opinion is they're going to have to eventually get a quarterback that's worth something.
I guess my biggest question is, would Tomlin bring on Aaron Rodgers? And I think Dennis brings up a great point. Dennis, if you're still listening, we do appreciate your call so much. 850-215-6290 is the number to call. Because if that were to be the case, right, that Aaron Rodgers were to come to the Pittsburgh Steelers, do we feel better about Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback of the Steelers? And again, we're taking our fandom out of this. We're just looking at it from the outside point of view. Do we think that Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson? I will say unequivocally, yes. How do you feel, Caveman Ray?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. In the annals of, like, the way NFL is going to end up looking at both of their careers in the end, I mean, Aaron Rodgers by far, over Russell Wilson. Dude's got, was it 3 MVPs, Super Bowl ring? So that alone right there is putting him over the top. Russell Wilson, pretty good career, I guess, but a lot of people can even argue that maybe his career was a lot more predicated more on the defense than it was on his game alone, too. And without that defense, he probably wouldn't, have gotten to where he's at in his career. So, yeah, easily to say Aaron Rodgers over, Russell Wilson.
Before we get to Johnny Yankee Seed and Jack Patterson, we've got Sean riding along with us. He's over there in Panama City Beach. Sean, what do you got for us on Aaron Rodgers?
What's up, gentlemen? Born and raised in Westchester County, New York, so the last year with the whole Aaron Rodgers speculation of taking the Jets to the promised land was definitely, I think, a long shot. But I don't know if you watched any of his Enigma Netflix
I have
series.
not yet.
Okay.
Scale of 1 to 10, how good is it?
I would say, honestly, I think educationally, and an 8. I definitely think it's something you should watch, that really shows who he is and how, what his true feelings are on a lot of different perspectives that you don't get to see on the football field or on the Pat McAfee interviews. I think it does bring in a lot of different perspectives to Aaron Rodgers. And, going back to, speaking just on his football talents, I don't think there's a team right now that he goes to and can bring a Super Bowl championship to. Regardless of if it's Mike Tomlin, if it's reuniting with Mike McCarthy in New Orleans, whatever it may or may not be. But to go out in the way that I think that Aaron Rodgers would is I don't see why we don't put him back into California and go out with San Fran. I think.
Do you think San Fran would do that, though?
I would think with Mr. Irrelevant, I think
he
got a
seems
really
to
good
have been
run.
pretty relevant throughout his career outside of this year.
I think this year was a major stepping stone for him in a lot of different angles because he didn't have all the weapons that he had from we're all sports fanatics, and we can go down the line of who the San Fran had defensively, offensively. So was Mr. Irrelevant put in a really good position? Absolutely. You know, I mean, it's like you're getting put in a driver's seat of a car that is ready to win the Daytona 500 or the Super Bowl, in which he took him there pretty close. I think this is probably one of the best coaches in football. I cannot take anything away from Mike Tomlin. I don't think I think they're both very strong-minded people, so I don't think that Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin would be a good fit together, my personal opinion. I think Pittsburgh showed a lot of in-house problems this year with wide receivers and who really had control over that locker room towards the end of the season. I can't remember the receiver's name right off the top of my head, but there was a lot of animosity per se in Pittsburgh. I think, Mike Tomlin's great, but I don't think
George Pickens is the receiver. Yeah, thank you.
So there was a lot of, you usually don't hear about that coming out of the locker room of a Tomlin type coach team. So there was a lot of different things going on there, which I don't know. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan, so I can't dive into it. But as I'm a Giants fan as well. So I mean, I hate to say it. You're talking about a second ago bringing the gentleman from Florida State to Malik Neighbors. I don't want Jameis Winston. I'm not anywhere near the Giants. I think we've already, we're tainted enough. But back to Rodgers, I think a good fit, in my honest opinion, would be San Fran. He started his career there. That's where he was born and raised. That's where he went to school. Why not put, Mr. Relevant behind him for a season or two and maybe get the knowledge that he needs to take him back to there. I don't see any other place that he could fit or would be a good fit for Aaron Rodgers at this moment. I mean, we all know he's...
Well, Sean, thank you so much for the call, my man, and we appreciate you.
Appreciate you. And like I said, I don't want to put my own out there, but if you're ever in the area of Pure Park, Angry Tuna, come see me. I'd love to take care of y'all.
Okay. All right. Facts.
All right. We appreciate it. Y'all have a great day. Yes, sir. Come out there and see us. Whoever says mention Angry Tuna or list on the radio, and I'll be sure they get something that most everybody won't get.
All right. Sounds good. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're talking a little bit about Aaron Rodgers and where he would fit in if you have a destination for him. 850-215-6290 is the number to call. Your thoughts there, K-Man Rick, on what Sean brought to the table?
Yeah, I mean... I kind of see what he's talking about, sending him out of California. That's where the guy's from, so maybe that would fit for him, maybe something that he would want to do. I still don't think San Francisco probably goes down that route. I think it would be too much that they would have to give up to get him. Not only just contract-wise, money that could be better spent other places. It doesn't really seem to matter who the quarterback is, including guys like Colin Kaepernick, a guy like Shanahan's got to seem to playoffs and playing pretty well. So I don't think why you would invest that kind of money and that kind of commitment into a player like Aaron Rodgers unless you really just believe that he's like the missing piece. I just don't see it. I don't think John Lynch would look at it like that either. So, I don't see the fit. Like, I was thinking more of a fit would be like more of a circus type place, like I said, like Dallas or perhaps Las Vegas Raiders. Anyway, a team with silver.
I think the Raiders would be a great landing spot for him. However, I think the fact that Tom Brady is a 5% minority owner, I don't think that's in the playing cards at all. What about you, Johnny Yankee? Do you think...
He needs to be in a small market, away from the noise. And unfortunately, it looks like all the small markets besides Tennessee have something young going on, or it just doesn't make sense cap-wise, or there's not enough weapons there. He's not going to go there. He wants to win now, obviously. It's the end of his career. So I feel like he's kind of stuck, Like, where is a good landing spot? And you can't. Unless there's some major shuffle. What was that year we had major shuffle with quarterbacks? Unless there's something like that here, I think he's stuck.
I think that was the Tom Brady year, like 2020, 2021 or so, where just like everyone kind of shuffled around except for Patrick Mahomes, who is playing with the Kansas City Chiefs and just cannot be stopped. Wrestling Against Cancer 10 is going to be over there at Bay Haven Charter Academy. Doors open at 5:30. The bell will ring at 6:30 p.m. For tickets, front row are $20, $12 for adults, and $8 from ages 6 to 17. 5 and under get in free. Proceeds go to benefit my cousin Ryan Holland and his medical expenses. What day are we going to have Ryan Holland in the building with us, Jack?
The 31st, I believe it is.
The 31st of January. There you go.
Tickets.
Tickets. And you can text in and get your tickets this afternoon or call in and get your tickets. 850-215-6290. It would mean the world to me if we pack out the Bay Haven Charter Academy gym. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. A whole lot more on Wrestling Against Cancer 10 when we get back.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
We're up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Hurricane Helene.
And breaking weather as it happens.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. The rest of the day, mostly sunshine and 63 with a gentle breeze coming out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Tonight, light sprinkles and mostly clouds with lows around 55. Tomorrow, overcast in the morning, but otherwise light showers and a temperature near 68. Moving into Sunday, about the same with a high of 63 and raining lightly. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Do you hear a squealing sound when you're braking? How about a clunking when turning? Shaking while under acceleration? These are all problems that Alford Tire and Service Center in Callaway can solve. With our friendly staff and trusted mechanics, we here at Alford offer a wide variety of services to keep you on the road and driving, which comes back with our nationwide warranty and easy financing options. Located in beautiful Callaway on Central Parkway, we do it all at Alford Tire and Service Center.
Pound the like and crush the subscribe. Follow us on social media for the latest sports news, scores, and updates. Keeping you in the game. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs, ESPN Northwest Florida.
You're back riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. The College Football National Championship plays right here between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Coverage starting at 6 p.m. for a 6:30 kickoff. We've got Jack Patterson in the building with us, and he wants to tell you guys a little bit more about Wrestling Against Cancer 10. That's going to be February 8th at the Bay Haven Charter Academy Gym. Doors are going to open at 5:30. The bell will ring at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are front row, $20, which is not a bad price at all. How many front row tickets do you have, Jack?
Right offhand, I only have 60 front rows because I normally don't do it this way, but I've seen a lot of shows. It's not benefits and stuff, and people do it. I mean, they buy these tickets for these other shows. It's not benefits and stuff. So 60 seats are in front row. I've sold over half right now, I believe it is. If I'm not mistaken, I don't have it with me to see what it is. See how many I've sold right offhand. But $60 means 60 front rows. And the thing is, if you buy a front row before the show, we're going to have a drawing. We're going to put your name down and we're going to have a draw, and we're going to have 2 drawings.
So that $20 comes with a little bit extra special.
Right. Yeah, if you buy front row, we're going to give out I'm personally, out of my pocket, going to give $50 cash. We're going to do a drawing in the beginning of the show, and then Tony Super, Dunkin' Donuts, he's getting a $50 Dunkin' Donuts gift card to give away too, and then that in the beginning of the show.
And if I'm not mistaken, you guys are going to be over there at Dunkin' Donuts, Lynn Haven?
Yes, next week, next Saturday from 9 to noon. We're going to be there selling tickets. We're going to be there. I got T-shirts I'm going to be selling too if they want to get one. We're going to have a few wrestlers there. We get different ones going to be there. There's a few that said they're going to be there, and there's a few that might not make it, they said, but we're going to be over there next week at Dunkin' Donuts from 9 to noon.
$12 for just regular adults coming, $8 for ages 6 through 17, 5 and under getting free. And again, all proceeds go to benefit Ryan Holland and his medical expenses. What makes this Wrestling Against Cancer just a little bit different, Jack? In the past, you've just, you've had someone who's dealing with cancer, and we've been wrestling against cancer, but what makes this one different?
Well, they all important to me.
Absolutely. I didn't say what makes this more important, because they're all important, because beating cancer in general is absolutely important. But what makes this one maybe hit a little bit closer to home? I know Wrestling Against Cancer 1 was for your sister.
Yes.
So there's never going to be one that hits closer to your heart than that one. But with Wrestling Against Cancer 10, what makes this one a little bit different?
Well, Ryan, when he started in the wrestling business, his trainer, Chief Little Bear, I helped Chief Little Bear train him. So in the wrestling world, we call it brothers, So he's like a brother to me. He's like family to me. Also, it's about as close to being family to me as my sister, but not as close. But it just means because going up down the road with somebody wrestling their words around, and him there and help train him and stuff, it touches my heart to do it. But I love doing it for everybody, though, and
Absolutely.
I just think I just want to pack this place out. My very first show was 500 people. Everyone after that has been like 350, 375, 400. I would love to get over 500 people on February the 8th at Bay Haven Charter Academy to help Ryan out.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think that it would mean a lot to the wrestling community in general as a whole. I think it would mean the world to my cousin just to see my cousin being Ryan Holland, just to see everyone coming out and supporting the wrestlers in general, and then also supporting him as well. I would love to see Bay Haven Charter Academy packed out, as Jack just said, on February 8th. That would mean the world to all of us here at ESPN Northwest Florida. What are some things that they can look forward to? Because I know in the last couple of years, the raffles that you guys have get bigger and bigger and bigger each and every year.
Yes, if you want to donate stuff to raffle off, you can get up with me on Facebook, Jack Patterson. Hit me up on email, jack.patterson24@yahoo.com. Or you can call me, 850-625-2862, for anything. If it's like for tickets, and I'll tell you how to get them. Go to Venmo. If you want to buy tickets, go to Venmo at Jack/Patterson/57.
Slash or dash?
Is like a minus sign.
Dash.
All
right,
yeah, the dash. Jack, it's going to be @
right.
Jack Patterson 57.
Hey, there you go. And man, we're really looking forward to this event. What's some of does anyone need to bring anything? What are the concessions like? Give us a little taste of what people need to look forward to for this wrestling event.
You can They're going to come. We're going to have hot dogs, nachos. Just basically let you buy at a game, like a football game, like concession stand. Basically nachos and chips or whatever, just normal concession stand stuff that they sell at the games and everything. Also, on January the 30th,
all right,
we're going to be from 2 to 10 at Slim Chickens in Callaway. If you can't come to the event, you can go there on January the 30th at Slim's Chickens in Callaway. Tell them fundraiser. And Ryan, what they do is you go in, you eat Slim's Chickens from 2 to 10, and whatever sold off each receipt, Ryan gets percentage of that. He gets I can't remember exactly how many percentage, but what they'll do is they'll get me the check and I will give it to Ryan. It was but
so that's going to be
January
30th at Slim Chickens, the only place of Slim Chickens, the only is Callaway Slim Chickens.
Yes.
All right. Well, Jack, we are looking forward to Wrestling Against Cancer 10. That's going to be February 8th over there at the Bay Haven Charter Academy Gym. Doors open at 5:30. Bell time 6:30. Tickets are only $20 for front row, $8 for ages 6 through 17, $12 for adults, and 5 and under get in free. And again, proceeds go to benefit Ryan Holland and his medical expenses. Jack, your FSU Seminoles, the Florida State Seminoles, what in the world? Where do they go next?
Hopefully winning. I think getting Malzahn, I think was a good move. My personal opinion. That's my opinion. Because to me, Malzahn ain't a good head coach, but I think he's a good. Now, for a lot where he came from, he was a good head coach there, I believe.
Yeah.
But I don't think for Florida State, I think he needs to be offensive coordinator like he is because he's a good recruiter, my opinion. I believe, matter of fact, we played against him. Florida State played against him when he was a head coach. And because of the great miracle that we had at the end of the game, we actually beat him. I think it's going to be a good move, a better move, and getting that coach from Nebraska, I think, was a great move too. My personal opinion, but I can only give my opinion. But we'll see how well it happens this coming year. We'll find out the first game of the year against Alabama, I guess.
Hey, we'll see. I mean, doesn't Alabama feel a lot less daunting than what it did at some point in the season last year?
Yeah, I think we got a better chance of beating them than we would with Nick Saban there. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. I think that's a very fair opinion to have along the way. When it comes to the NFL playoffs, or actually, let's go to the college football playoffs. Who do you have winning Ohio State Notre Dame? Just before we get you out of here, we got about 5 minutes left to go.
Personally, I'm not really a big fan of either team. But I would rather see Ohio State win than Notre Dame because I don't really care for Notre Dame. I mean, I don't really care for Ohio State either, but I would rather see Ohio State win because I think a lot of people in the South don't like Notre Dame.
I think that's a very fair assumption.
I think the way the country's looking at it is the state of Ohio wants Ohio State to win, the state of Indiana wants Notre Dame to win, and the rest of the country wants nobody to win.
Your thoughts?
I grew up a Notre Dame fan. I can't really stick my flag in it no more.
So you're actually why can't you stick your flag in it anymore?
I don't.
You don't believe in Catholicism anymore, so I
got away from I got away from college football because I just don't like the way it was run, and I tried getting back into it a little bit, but I'm going to root for them, but I'm not going to be like, my team won. I'm rooting for them, but that's it.
Yeah.
My thing is the transfer portal. I don't like it.
What would you change about the transfer portal, Jack? If you had any power in college football, what would you change about the transfer portal?
I would have never had it. Because the reason being, Nick Saban made a good point, I think, when on College Game Day, I think he said it there. He said they're in the transfer portal for a reason. Either they're no good or they never play, is what he said. And I really agree with him on that. But like I said, in my opinion, I just think it takes paying the players now. It's just they don't play as hard. I don't think
that has nothing to do with the transfer portal. I think that the players hop into the transfer portal based on where they can get paid the most. But at the end of the day, like it's more that part on what they get paid is on the NIL side of things. However, when they're not getting paid enough at one university, then they hop in the transfer portal to see how much they can get paid.
I just think they need to stay with a high school recruiting and just like it was. I mean, some of them still doing it, but I just think, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I just think they ought to.
It takes a little, especially for those of you who have been watching college football the way that you've been watching college football for a long time, it takes away from what you feel is the players playing for the love of the game. Right. And I think that there's a large element of truth to that. However, on the flip side of that, I do believe that, there's no way that Alabama is losing 3 games this year without the transfer portal and NIL. There's no way that the landscape of college football is as even as it is without the transfer portal and the NIL. So you can have it one way of, your top schools always being dominant, which look at us here. We've got Ohio State and Notre Dame playing in the National Football Championship or in the College Football National Championship, which is a beautiful thing. But I don't think that you're getting the parity that we're seeing in college football without the transfer portal and the NIL. And as much as I do agree with you, because as a fan of these squads, it stinks, right? It stinks that, all right, DJ Uiagalelei was your starting quarterback. Now he's gone, and now you've got to learn. Now it's Castellanos, right? And the next year is going to be another guy, and the next year is going to be another. Like, we just keep on playing this flip the roster game, and let's see what sticks and what doesn't. Caveman Rick looked like he had something there. No,
nah, just I kind of agree with Jack a little bit. I mean, the way college is going, it's kind of getting a little gratuitous now. They really need to, I think, set up some real concrete type of rules or guidelines or however they want to do it with the NIL and the portal. I think it's going that way. I mean, it's going to take trial and error. It's a big deal. You're probably not going to get it right the first time. So I understand that. I just would like to see something figured out sooner than later, because they don't even have that figured out yet, and already wanting to change, going from 12 to 14 teams. Pump the brakes a little bit, I would think. Slow it down, get it right, and then if you want to expand. But at least get the format down correctly before you go expanding and changing things some more, is what I feel.
The 12-team playoff was a good thing, I think, because it gave teams the chance to get there that could never make it, like Boise State.
Right.
If it was a 4-team, they'd never made it where they were at.
Right, 100%. Well, if it was a 4-team playoff, the teams who are playing in the national championship this year aren't playing in the national championship. They're playing in a bowl game against each other.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's a beautiful thing about college football and where they stand. Wrestling Against Cancer 10 is going to be February 8th at Bay Haven Charter Academy in the gym over there. Doors are going to open at 5:30. Bell time 6:30. Tickets are $20 for front row, $12 for adults, $8 for ages 6 through 17. 5 and under get in for free. Proceeds go to benefit Ryan Holland and his medical expenses. And, of course, you can see Jack Patterson there. Jack Patterson, give out your number one more time for those who might be listening right now and would like to go ahead and get their tickets.
My phone number is 850-625-2862. If I don't answer, leave a message, because I may be busy and I can't answer the phone right away. Just leave me a message. If you want to buy tickets, all you got to do is go to hit me up on Jack Patterson. It's got a picture of me and my wife.
Say that number one more time for me, Jack.
850-625-2862.
You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Quick timeout. We'll be right back with hour number 2.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the College Football National Championship.
75 yards! Wow!
It's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. Pick six, rolling. Listen live in ultra-high fidelity. Coverage starts Monday at 6, kickoff at 6:30. Right here on your home for college football on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday evening. As we head into tonight, very light rain and mostly clouds, and a low of 55 with a gentle breeze out of the south-southeast around 9 miles per hour. For tomorrow morning, light showers and a temp near 67. In the afternoon and evening, lightly sprinkling and a high around 68. For Sunday, light showers and a high of 63. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Experience a higher level of service. David Adamson Designer Jewelry has been providing you the very best of fine jewelry and repair in Lynn Haven for over 32 years. David has added Amber Anderson and Russ Klinger, names you've known and trusted in PCB for years with your fine jewelry and watch needs. Find that one-of-a-kind engagement ring, that special anniversary gift, or something colorful just for you. Amber and Russ will find it or build it for you, serving Bay County and beyond in Lynn Haven at the corner of Ohio Avenue and 9th. David Adamson Designer Jewelry.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Everybody would ask me why I came to Notre Dame. The truth is I came here to win a national championship.
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
Well, you'll be a Buckeye legend for life. How does that sound?
I just want to win a national championship.
The College Football Playoff National Championship, presented by AT&T.
The stakes get much higher.
Hit by Sawyer, ball's loose. Sawyer comes up with it.
Intercepted by Christian Bray of Notre Dame.
Coverage starts Monday at 6 on your home for college football, ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Call in with your questions, hot takes, and rants at 850-215-6290.
I'm sure that most of you have used a dial telephone before.
The Sports Talk Monster.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We are the Panhandle's home for Auburn Tiger basketball right here. And Coach Pro and the number 1 Auburn Tigers are going to be taking on the number 23 University of Georgia Bulldogs at the Stegman Coliseum. Coverage starts Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Tip-off at noon on your number 1 destination for college basketball and the Auburn Tigers, ESPN Northwest Florida. We've got Johnny Yankee Seed, and ooh, that was a nice sounder right there. We've got Johnny Yankee Seed in the building with us, and he always brings us our coverage for what we need for UFC. UFC 311 is tomorrow evening, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and we've had a lot of changes to this. Well, let's dive into it. Where do we start here?
They might have should have had this in Omaha, Nebraska, being that's UFC 311. If you know, you know.
Where the band is from?
Yeah,
Okay,
so if you know, you know. Anyway.
So the championship fight, the final fight, has been canceled and rescheduled. It's been reassigned. It's no longer Islam Makhachev versus Armen Sarukian. It's now Islam Makhachev versus Renato Money Moicano. And his fight with Beneil Dariush is off, and Beneil Dariush is getting paid to sit at home, I think.
That's a nice job, get paid to sit on your butt at home. Hey, not a bad bit of work.
He said he was taken care of, so that's what I take by that.
I would assume so then.
All right. So where do we want to start with this particular card, as it's been a while since we've had you on to talk UFC with us?
Real quick, another adjustment. Jailton Almeida and Sergey Spivak have been moved to the main card in place of Beneil Dariush and Renato Money Moicano. So that's the full main card. Yeah, There's a couple fights on the prelims we can talk real quick if you want.
Yeah, I would like to. Let's start there. Prelims, where they're fighting for their right to get to the next level.
That fight I was going to talk about, but now it's on the main card. We'll save it. Remember I told you about Peyton Talbot? And, he's on that prelims main event. And, oh, boy, I think I have a stat here. He's 3-0 in the UFC and a total of 1 minute and 38 seconds. So he is coming fast. Really fast.
So he's like Mike Tyson, like finishing people pretty quick.
Yeah. He's dangerous, and the guy he's fighting seems to be a career vet. So I think he's last time I checked, negative 1,600. So heavy
1150.
So it's come
right
down
now.
a little bit. All right. Yeah, he's heavy favorite.
For Raoni Barcelos is at plus 650 right now.
Mm-hmm. And another one of those names is weird. I think it's Ione. I looked this up, dude. The R's don't exist in Brazil, I guess. Ione. Yeah, because it says Renato. You would think it's Renato. No, it's Renato. Like, they just ignore the R's.
So it's Brazil, not Brazil?
Exactly. Yeah, it's weird, man.
Yeah. That is one of those things that are a little bit perplexing as you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. If you have anything, any questions for Johnny Yankee Seed here on UFC 311, the number to call is 850-215-6290. Let's talk about some of these other calls, other fights here on the prelims.
Can I get a tangent about Brazil? Just real fast. This has popped in my head. Johnny Yankee Seed might, know this reference. You might not. It's a little older, but Street Fighter 2 video game back in the day, Mortal Kombats and stuff like that, like the OG fighting game for a lot of people. There was a character from Brazil. His name was Blanca, who was kind of like a monster, if you will. I'm wondering why, and maybe somebody has, and I haven't heard him. A Brazilian fighter, and maybe because Street Fighter 2 isn't big down there, but not use that acronym or that name Blanca as their fight name because of the symbolism that might go with it.
Right.
So, I've seen that, fights a few times, and for whatever reason, a couple times that thought's kind of popped into my head, and I've never really, vocalized it or whatever. So just now, I just thought I'd throw that out there. But, so yeah, if there's a Brazilian fighter out there that hasn't used Blanca yet, I think it'd be kind of cool, and it might do some good marketing for you, too. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Continuing on with the prelims.
There's only one other fight that really sticks out to me. Zachary Reese. He's had 3 fights, I believe, in the UFC. He's lost 1, but it was to a very good fighter who's on the come up as well. But his fights seem to go quick as well. He's a big boy for his division. He's 6'4". I think they're feeding him some guy on late notice. That guy's been told if he doesn't win, he doesn't get a contract. So that could be a very interesting fight as well. Something to look forward to on the prelims.
Which one is that again?
Zachary Reese versus...
Oh, so the second fight.
Azamat
Bikoev.
Yeah, I wrote that one down as well.
Bikoev.
No idea.
But see, yeah, like you're saying though, like when you're fighting for basically your career, that's like sudden death, like playoff hockey, next goal wins, kind of thing. And so you're probably going to see somebody who, if they didn't have that going for them, maybe take it easy towards the end of a round or whatever, just to try to survive the round, where this guy might actually start swinging for the fences to try to hit that home run shot, and then maybe he goes down. So that makes a fight kind of interesting when you got a lot more like that on the line. So definitely that's pretty dope. Be interested in seeing that one.
Any more on the prelims before we dive into the main card?
The rest seem like there's so much from foreign countries that I can't really pinpoint it. So haven't seen much of them other guys besides Grant Dawson. There could be a couple good fights, but I'd go right to the main card.
All right, well, let's dive.
The one woman fight, nothing there really between the two ladies?
It could be, but it doesn't get me out of my seat.
Right on.
All right, and you've got a very comfortable seat right there here in the studio of ESPN Northwest Florida. So to start the main card off, you got Grant Dawson and Diego Ferreira. What do you got there? Or is it Ferreira?
No, isn't it supposed to be Kevin Holland versus Rainier Day Ritter?
You're right about that. It is. It is. I was a little bit below that. Kevin Holland and whatever you said, Rainier D. Ritter.
Yep. I think that's going to be a stand-up fight for a little bit, and Kevin Holland asked him, please don't take me down. So if that's not a hint, it could be trouble for him.
All right, well, there you go. We'll go through all of these fights, and then we'll come back and make our picks after you get done kind of discussing and giving us both sides here of the fights. Kevin Holland is a plus 105 underdog in that fight. Going on to the next fight is Jalton Almeida taking on Sergey Spivak out of Moldova there, and Almeida is a minus 525 favorite in this fight.
I don't know how. I was telling someone today, with the styles that match up in MMA, there always seems to be one that does better against one, and it's that Russian Sambo wrestling seems to own BJJ. And this guy's from one of the broken Russian countries. He's a wrestler. He's got hands. He's quite bigger than him as well, even though they're at heavyweight. And this guy has shown he's been pretty boring. He likes to take people down and uses BJJ.
Crouch sniffer?
Yes, but he can't do that against a bigger guy who can also wrestle and likes to throw hands. I don't know how this guy is favorited like this. I'm pretty confused. I mean, me personally, I'm leaning towards betting on it, so that's me. But I don't get why he's such a heavy favorite.
Real quick, taking a break from that, just got some breaking news from the UFC. Chris Weidman has retired.
Yeah, I knew about that. Legend. He knocked off Spider, and who is one of the GOATs.
Yeah.
So, shame that he broke his leg the way he did, but he fought back, had a couple fights, and yeah, I'd like to see him go away before it gets worse.
All right, we'll move on here on the main card where Yuri Prochazka is taking on Jamal Hill. Prochazka is a plus 105 underdog here. Jamal Hill a minus 125 favorite. This should be interesting here on the main card. Your thoughts on this fight?
That's my favorite fight on this card. That's going to be a stand-up fight, and don't blink. Jamal Hill, his nickname is Sweet Dreams. Likes to send people to sleep. And we already know what Yuri is. He's fun to watch. So this is going to be a very exciting fight, and don't blink.
Other breaking news. Roki Sasaki.
No, don't say it.
Yep, you already know where I'm going. Take a guess, Caveman Rick. Who is he signing with? This is from Baseballer, so I can't confirm it to be 100% true.
Not the Dodgers, is it?
It's the Dodgers.
Wow. Yeah,
so the 23-year-old phenom looking for just a minor league contract. The most sought-after free agent here in the 2025 class, Roki Sasaki, is signing with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Oh, my goodness, man.
When does MLB do something about this?
I think at some point you can't keep on deferring money if you're going to get all the top players.
This is disgusting.
It doesn't. Yeah, it is.
Oh, is it deferred money? Is that what they're saying on this?
No. I'm not saying that. He's looking for a minor league contract. My issue is the fact is they can continue on signing top tier players for deferred money, and then every year they come into the offseason and they're right there with everyone else for the top free agents.
I get this. I don't want to sound like some sympathizer for the Dodgers or anything like this, but I mean, it's like a Belichickian kind of a move. It's like reading the rule book, finding the gray areas, and then walking that line, and making sure that you're hopefully not crossing that line, but you're like as close to the line as you can be without crossing it, and staying within those parameters. From time to time, maybe you sway over it and maybe, people notice or don't notice. But I mean, like, big ups to them finding these loopholes, if you will. But at the same time, you're exploiting it, and it's a detriment to the game. It's a detriment to the league. And because of that, they need to probably look into it. It's no different than a rules committee changing rules like in the NFL or another sport during the offseason because they found out, hey, this isn't right, and somebody's exploiting something that really isn't, something that should be going on, and we kind of need to correct that.
I want it to be known as a Yankee fan, I have zero issue with the deferred money.
Of course, rich boy.
No, go spend it. Do what you got to do. Maybe there might be a competition clause or something here because, like I said, they're just stacking. And yes,
it has to do with the deferred money.
Agreed. But
pay the luxury tax.
But they
have that
are
already
paying the luxury
But
tax.
say, okay,
so.
no. So you got deferred money, okay? You have the luxury tax, but like what I'm trying to say though is you got to pay that money up front. You know what I'm saying, or pay it like in a salary, and you have to get hit with a luxury tax that make it to where it's like that, and you can't defer the money. You know, like it's a way of double dipping by deferring. You know what I mean?
I agree with it. I like it.
Because it's deferred money down the road, and like you don't think that what he's signing for now, what you're paying him 20 years from now, is a bargain because of the way inflation works. You know what I mean? So you're saving yourself money down the road too. So, I mean, it's exploitation of the rule book, I guess, if you will.
I don't know how they're getting every major Japanese star.
Well, it's because it's L.A., it's West Coast. They already got Ohtani. They've already kind of got that
there's so many other
nucleus
teams over
of
there,
people, though. Like, yeah, but like if you're a Japanese player, right, do you want to like... There might be some guy that wants to like carve his own path, right, and not like follow everybody else. But isn't it easier just to go where everybody else is, where there's already kind of a culture where you can kind of already assimilate and you already kind of meld in because there's people that already speak the language and they've already kind of like are used to people of your culture and stuff being over there. It makes it like a lot easier to take yourself from being grown up over there and coming over here, I would think, and put yourself in somebody's shoes, making that move. What would you want to do? You know what I mean?
Caveman, I finally think I just realized I'm old.
Yeah.
Where are the dogs at? Where's this weak mentality coming from? Let's just pack up and win cheap rings. Like, give me the dogs, man. I'm sick of it, man.
Our generation screwed that up for the youngsters.
Just finally realizing that the Yankees are a trash organization.
It's like all these parents nowadays that are like our age.
Dynasty was drafted.
It's like all these parents nowadays that are our age that have kids that instead of want to parent their children and give them, quote, tough love, I guess, like we had, it's they want to be their child's like best friend. And that creates like, you know, like I said, softness or just like spoiled attitude. Like I'm used to getting my way. And then when I don't, like, I'm taking my ball and going home. I mean, that's what the transfer portal is and stuff. Hey, I'm not getting starting time. I'm not getting what I want. So I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go someplace else.
Yeah.
Where instead you had to work harder to get what you wanted instead of packing up and leaving.
This is like LeBron and let's go to the Heat and it's disgusting.
Taking your talents down to South Beach, but instead Roki Sasaki is taking his talents to the West Coast of the USA, and he'll be a part of the USA Dodgers, of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he's going to be a part of that. Insane. They got Blake Snell. Right? They got Blake Snell. They got, what was the pitcher that they got? Yamamoto.
Yep.
They got Yamamoto. Like, come on, man. It's not fair.
Surprised they didn't get Imanaga when he came out.
Who cares about fair, I guess, to an extent, but it's not, it just doesn't make sense that they just won the World Series and now they're even better. Even better. Doesn't make a lick of sense to me. Left off, we were talking about the rest of the main card here on UFC 311, which, if you don't know, go to ESPNPC.com and you can get Lucid Streams TV, and that's just going to cost you $41.99 a month, and that would be a way for you to watch UFC 311. Our next fight is going to be Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. What do you think about this fight?
Man, I looked his name up too because I keep struggling every time. Dvalishvili. Yep,
So I wasn't too far off. Just a little, way too many syllables.
He's just from a little up north in Georgia.
Yeah, facts.
I'm never gonna go against Nurmagomedov. All three, like him, his brother, Habib's brother in Bellator.
Yeah, if you got that name,
except for Islam, has the one loss.
Yeah, if you got that name though in fighting, you're pretty gold and you're pretty good.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a good fight. I know I've told you in the past the crotch sniffing's awful, and there's a lot of crotch sniffers at the top right there on this card. But usually when they face each other, it's actually a pretty exciting fight because they can't do that because it's just constant wrestling, grappling, moving, quick strike, and it's constant movement. So it's not boring. It's a nice chess match, and to see it fold out with the high level wrestling, it's awesome.
Let me ask you this then. Okay, so we're just talking about the Nurmagomedov last name. So like in MMA and like combat sports, you got like, was it like Shamrock and you got like Gracie's, right? So are these like the next family, if you will, or whatever?
That's
like
safe to say.
Probably going to take like, you know, like be like of that ilk?
That's safe to say.
Yeah.
Very safe to say.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on to the main event, which is changing up a little bit as we learned from Johnny Yankee Seed to start this particular segment. It's going to be Islam Makhachev versus Renato Moicano. Or what'd you say, Renato
Moicano.
Renato Moicano.
I felt better about this fight when it was Arman. I was looking for the high-level grappling because they fought before, and I know it was a unanimous decision, but I've watched the fight. I watched it back again last night because I really wanted to know like how close it was, and it was still very close. Like, first round was a toss-up. Second round, you could have slightly leaned to Islam. Third round, definitely Islam won it. I definitely thought he won the fight, but super close fight. So with the years since, I thought this would have been a great matchup. I still think we're going to get it. I'm disappointed because I thought if anyone's going to beat him, it's going to be him. I do not think he's going to lose now.
Vegas looks that way too at minus 1,300, so I think that's a pretty safe bet there.
Yes, very safe.
26-1 at this point in time in his career. Looks like minus 1150, but depending on what site it is that you're looking to check out these particular odds. Coming up next, we're going to make our picks for this. We're going to make our picks for the NFL divisional playoffs, which you can listen to all those games right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. And one more time, we're going to dive into the College Football National Championship. Keep it locked in to the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your home for college basketball, ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Auburn Tigers men's basketball team is ranked number 1 in the country, and they've got another big test tomorrow as they face the number 23 University of Georgia Bulldogs inside the Stegeman Coliseum. We'll have coverage coming up from Athens starting at 11:30, tip-off at noon, right here on your home for the Auburn Tigers and college basketball.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday evening. As we head into tonight, very light rain and mostly clouds, and a low of 55 with a gentle breeze out of the south-southeast around 9 miles per hour. For tomorrow morning, light showers at a temp near 67. In the afternoon and evening, lightly sprinkling and a high around 68. For Sunday, light showers and a high of 63. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Olivia here, and right now is the right time to put yourself in a brand new Toyota, where you can get 3.99% APR on the stylish and affordable RAV4, plus 90 days until you make your first payment. Get 2.99% on the bold Tacoma, plus 90 days until you make your first payment. Or get 2.99% on the hard-working 2025 Tundra. We've got the perfect Toyota for you, right here at Panama City Toyota.
Offer ends February 3rd. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
But I wonder how much time he really kind of put into the playbook.
Where it's halftime all the time.
He may be the cream of this crop of quarterbacks.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Well, they got to do something here, but otherwise this is just going to be another lost season.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back. This is the Afternoon Underdogs right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Get the most NFL coverage on the Panhandle right here. This weekend, the NFL playoffs are going to continue. Don't miss our next game. Coverage starting tomorrow at 3 p.m. after the Auburn Tigers basketball game. Kickoff at 3:30. Texans and the Chiefs then kick off at 7 p.m. Saturday evening for the Commanders at the Lions. Then on Sunday, coverage starts at 1:30 for a 2 p.m. kickoff between the Rams and the Eagles. Then at 5:30, Ravens and the Bills, which I think is the best game of the weekend unless you're Caveman Rick. We got to dive into UFC 311 here. We're going to make our picks for the playoff games. We're going to make our picks here for UFC 311. Then we'll make our picks for the national championship, which will be right here on ESPN Northwest Florida Monday evening. Coverage starting at 6 p.m. for a 6:30 kickoff. Ohio State, Notre Dame, two of my most hated teams that are not original rivals of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and I'm excited about it. I think that makes it more interesting for me. But UFC 311's where we left off. We've got Johnny Yankee Seed in the building with us, along with Bone Crusher, spinning the tunes for you guys, sporting the Waffle House t-shirt this afternoon, and I'm looking forward to getting me a breakfast bowl this weekend at some point in time. Caveman Rick, I'm David Hayes. Let's dive into it. Kevin Holland, he's 26-12. You got Rainier de Ritter, who is 18-2 from the Netherlands. Kevin Holland's a plus 105 underdog, and Rainier de Ritter is minus 125 as the favorite. Set us up one more time, and let's go through these picks.
Rainier, I don't like Kevin Holland saying what he said the other day. It makes me sick to my stomach because it means he's got some doubt in his head. But I thought it was going to be a stand-up fight, but now he says that. I think Rainier knows there's weakness, and I think he's going to try to take him down. They're both really good at BJJ, but they're both really good on the feet as well. Rainier de Ritter is new. He just fought a war in his first fight. It was actually pretty entertaining. But I love Kevin Holland. I love the way he fights, and I hope he catches him. But, yeah, I don't think that's happening.
All right. So who do you have?
Rainier.
You got Rainier?
Yeah.
I don't know much about either one of these fighters, but based off of looking at records and size and just their fighting styles and stuff, I think I'm going to go with Rainier. He's a southpaw. Like you were saying, you don't probably like what was being said before the fight and about, maybe being some doubt creeping in Kevin Holland's mind. So because of that, I'm going to go with Rainier de Ritter, RDR.
All right. I am going to, just for the sake of being different, I like Kevin Holland's fighting style. I think that he's got a shot in any fight that he's in. And I'm going to go with experience over, and not that Rainier is not experienced at all. How many UFC fights does Rainier have?
This is his second fight.
Second fight, yeah. Give me Kevin Holland. What's his nickname? The Spider? Nah, probably not, but he does fight kind of like a spider, and it's kind of all over the place. So give me Kevin Holland in this fight.
The Tulip, maybe?
The Tulip will work for... No, that would be Rainier.
Yeah, I know he's from the Netherlands. It's kind of say funny, but it's just kind of...
Yeah, but I'm talking about Kevin Holland right now. I'm going to take KH. I'm going to take Kevin Holland. I'm going to do it for my cousin, Ryan Holland, which, again, Wrestling Against Cancer 10 is February 8th at the Bayhaven Charter Academy. Doors are going to open at 5:30. Bell time 6:30. You can hit us up here for tickets. 850-215-6290.
Kevin Holland versus a guy from Holland. Nice fight.
Yeah, there you go. All right, moving on to the next one. You've got... Are we going Jalton or are we going Yalton?
It's Jayalton, I believe.
Jayalton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak out of Moldova. Jalton Almeida's out of Brazil. Jalton Almeida is 21-3. Sergey Spivak is 17-4. Almeida's a minus 525 favorite. Sergey is a plus 360 dog. Again, explain this fight to us, and then let's make our picks.
So, something I've always noticed over the years, that Russian wrestling, and it's something in the hip work. They seem to do very well against BJJ guys, and Almeida just seems to want to be a one-trick pony and lay on guys until they tap out or take them to decision. Stay safe, not take hits. I see his one loss, Almeida, was to Curtis Blades, where he kept trying to go for it, and finally Curtis Blades, it was up against the fence, and he rained down elbows on the side of his head, and he knocked him out. I could see something similar to this happening because he's going to keep trying to bring pressure and take him down, and he doesn't want those hands. Sergey is on a win streak, and I think he can get this. If I'm looking at any dog on this card, oh my goodness, that, I could tell you he's going to be in my parlay already.
All right, so you're going with the underdog here?
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness, you're going with Spivak.
Yes.
I'm just going to put SS right here.
The polar bear, by the way. That's his nickname.
Oh, is it really? Right on.
Polar bear. I do like that's one of my favorite land animals.
Yes.
What's your favorite animal of all time?
A turtle, man.
Turtle?
I love turtles, man.
He's like Kid, man, from that video, man, wearing the,
you watch way too much Ninja Turtles.
That's my era,
favorite
man.
Ninja Turtle?
Raphael. I like the
Who's
hanger.
the blue one again? Donatello?
Donatello, yeah.
Yeah, that's mine.
I like Raphael.
Your favorite Ninja Turtle?
I don't know.
Didn't even like him.
Yeah,
you were like more
I played
of
the
a,
video game and stuff when I was a kid.
Who was the villain? Who was the villain? That
Shredder.
Shredder. Yeah, you're.
And then they had the brain or whatever that was inside the robot.
That's who you
Bebop
liked.
and Rocksteady.
He didn't even like the turtles. He wanted to go against the
I
turtles.
didn't like the brain.
That's Caveman Rick for you, though. He kicks babies and he goes for the villains.
Yeah, I didn't like the brain thing because it was too much like a ripoff off a Mother Brain from Metroid and Nintendo, I thought, when I was a kid. But Michelangelo, he was the partier guy, that liked, pizza and skateboarding and junk like that. So, yeah, he was pretty cool. My favorite animal, though, is probably some kind of fish.
Mine is not a fish, but it lives in the water. It's a mammal. It's the killer whale.
Killer whale, yeah.
He's going to say, watch Blackfish. I'll be like,
no, I told you before that was orca. It was orca. I told you a million times to watch it.
I've actually seen two male brothers hunt the harbor seal and split it with the tail whip.
Aren't they some savage animals?
It's the most amazing thing I've seen nature-wise.
Oh, my goodness, bro. In the wild or in captivity, best animal alive. And we do need some, and I know most people are going to disagree with me, but we need some of these animals in captivity, though. Right? We need to be able to study them. I wish that when they were in captivity, they were treated more correctly than what they are treated. But you know what happens when you don't treat them correctly? You get ate.
That's it.
So
that's usually what happens, man.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Play.
But see, I
play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
I didn't have
dummy.
to watch or hear about that Blackfish to find that out. Orca came out in the late 70s. Yeah. You could have figured that out.
Great movie, by the way.
Anyway.
And Caveman Rick did recommend that to me, and I watched it. And yeah. But I don't. For me, it's not my favorite animal because, it became my favorite animal because I was at SeaWorld and he splashed the crap out of me, and it was like, dang, dude, I want to swim with these things.
No, you don't.
Then I realized. No, I don't.
I'm out.
You know why that movie's so scary in a way, man?
The animals. No, why? But why? That's why I started loving them animals, though. Not because I wanted to swim with them. When I realized I didn't want to swim with them is when they became my favorite animal.
They're savages,
right?
Yeah, but they deserve to be there.
Do you know what they're doing in the Gulf? They're
probably making babies.
No, they're swimming up to the whale sharks and biting them in the liver and taking the liver off and just letting them sink to the bottom and waste.
That's what they're not even eating up for food.
Well, they eat the liver. The liver. They're getting the best part, and then
they eat the liver and then they make the rest of the shark
peaceful
quiver.
creatures just like.
Yeah, I hate that because whale sharks are
cool,
gentle giants.
Yeah.
Double G.
Yeah, it's like just, killing, anything else. Well, I mean, you can go a lot of different places. It's like, killing an animal just for its antlers and not
knocking out boats in Europe.
Well, because they're catching on and they're smart and they're like, hey, man, you guys are screwing us. So, hey, we're going to find a way to get back at y'all. You know what I'm saying? So,
cool stuff.
Leave it to me to take us from fighting and getting into animals who fight. Favorite land animal? Because I think we all did aquatic animals.
It's probably,
you did polar bear.
It's probably grizzly or bull.
Well, his is both. The turtle, man. It's like land
turtle.
and water.
Yeah,
both.
no. Yeah,
so there you go.
Turtle or tortoise, yeah.
Anything with a shell, right?
Yeah.
Right on.
I love that. What about for you, land animal?
Okay, I like dogs. I got a couple dogs. My dogs are pretty cool.
You can't use man's best friend.
The turtle is they're so exposed, they're so hard yet so soft. You know what I mean? They're built to live long, but
they make a good soup.
Yeah, and they do actually, and I hate that. But I hate that I love turtle, but they just think about it. That shell can take punishment, but if they're exposed, they're weak. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. It'll mess your brain up a little bit.
I think anyone who's powerful when they're exposed, they become weak.
Exactly. I don't know. I think
we can
they're
all
beautiful
become
animals.
weak at certain times. 850-215-6290 is the number to call. Your favorite land animal.
I don't know if you want to call it land animal. Got one on my sleeve. How about an eagle? Bald eagle.
Respect.
Well, that's what they call me back in the streets. Bald eagle. No, I'm just kidding. I wish that.
Well, I mean, you're half right. Bald.
Well, I'm bald.
Yeah, no doubt.
Me as well now.
Hey, there we go. Look, I'll share some. Oh, I just got a little.
We're gonna blind people with our heads. We can't do this both at the same time.
It is what it is, man. Not many people get the opportunity to see this on a regular day basis, but yeah, I think my favorite land animal would probably be. I probably just keep it consistent with the kings of the jungle. I love the polar bear.
Grizzlies.
Yeah, the polar bear, though, we all love Coke, right? Come on. We love Pepsi here too because Buffalo Rock. Shout out to y'all. Keeping us going and keeping me on some hydration with Aquafina. I guess I would say, all right, if I can't use Polar Bear because you've already kind of announced it or whatever, I think my second would be the Lion. Yeah. I love Mufasa.
Yeah.
I love Simba.
Yeah.
I love Scar. You know? Like, that's actually Caveman Rick's favorite character in The Lion King is Scar.
No.
It's not?
No.
Mine's Rafiki in The Lion King.
No, I don't know. I don't remember. Well, I mean, I watched The Lion King. I don't know all the characters.
I thought you said that you liked the fact that he, like, killed Mufasa.
No.
Someone told me that their favorite character in Lion King was Scar because they killed Mufasa.
I'm here for the villains.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, you got to have them.
When you're watching that scene, like the cartoon version, not the newest Mufasa version, when you're watching the old version and you see Scar kind of like laying on his back and there's like a skull in the background, apparently that skull is supposed to be the skull of Mufasa.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or like, you know, they're just trying to. Because they make new movies and trying to.
Come on, I'm Mr. Negative over here, Mr. Negative Caveman Rick. Always will.
Just think of it like this, though. If you want to say stuff about Scar or whatever, if Scar doesn't kill Mufasa, then you don't have the whole Lion King movie. You don't have the whole story. So there you go.
But any movie like that, you gotta have the bad guy.
The way more disgusting version is Simba and Nala are brother and sister because there's only two male prides.
All right.
There you go.
It's brutal, right?
That's where we get into some roll tide.
See, this is where Disney needs to do more research so they don't have these
two males and a bride.
Okay, we're talking about Disney, bro. I think they do enough research to be like, this is what we want to impregnate into the children's minds now.
Subliminally.
Subliminally and over the toply. My goodness gracious. Let's get right back to it. We left off.
So I didn't pick my pick. So I got S squared.
You got S squared?
Spivak.
All right, so you're going to Germans?
No, he's not German, Moldova. He's like Russian.
I know that, but I was just saying S squared, SS.
Yeah. Well, depending on like how maps have been drawn over the course of the last 120 years or whatever, you know, all those.
At last, he's finally looking at the atlas.
Yeah, so. I mean, like in a couple years, it'll probably be a different country.
Yep.
I'm going to go with the favorite in this one since both of y'all went with Spivak, and I know that that's Johnny Yankee Seed's favorite underdog here in this fight. I'm going to go with Jailton Almeida, who is 21-3 out of Brazil. So I'll go JA here. And then we'll go with Yuri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill 12-2. Prochazka is 35-1. He's the underdog at plus 105. Jamal Hill minus 125, being the favorite. Tell us a little bit more about this fight right here, and then let's dive into our picks.
This is probably the biggest coin flip on the card. Both studs, both guys who Jamal Hill's had been champ. Yuri's been champ. Yuri's a little more loose with his swings. Jamal's more of a he's going to piece you up. So Yuri better not give him his chin too much because sweet dreams will come true. So man, I don't like wanting to pick this. I need a little bit longer, so y'all can pick.
But we lean on you for your expertise.
I ain't scared.
Go. Yeah, all right. He's not scared.
Yeah, give me the man bun, man. I'll take Yuri Prochazka to win this one over Jamal Hill.
On a good note, he shaved his head for a good cause for cancer.
Oh, really? So he's not going to have the man bun?
No, he's not.
Does that change your mind?
I don't know, man. Like,
does that change your mind, Rick?
It might. You know, story of Samson, man. Cut your hair, you know, and then you lose your powers.
Caveman Rick, bringing up biblical references here on the Afternoon Underdogs. That makes me happy.
If all that stuff, is
Doesn't matter if
I hear. I'm just still saying.
Yeah.
So I'm still going with the man bun.
Still excited, and I know but just the fact that you're bringing up biblical references kind of makes my heart jump a little bit left and right, and probably need to go see the doctor after this.
When you get the AED out,
you're going with Prochazka. Johnny Yankee Seed, who you going? Well, I guess you left it up to me to pick. I normally would actually pick Prochazka in this one, but something inside of me right now is just beaten and bleeding red, white, and blue. And I'm not talking about the Czech Republic right now. I'm talking about the U.S. of A. I'm going with Jamal Hill. I know he's only 12-2, and I know he is the favorite, but I'm going with Jamal Hill in UFC 311.
I think I'm having a hard time with this because I like both fighters, and I really like Yuri. He's one of my favorite fighters, and so my heart's in it a little bit. So I'm gonna go opposite of my heart, and I'm going with Sweet Dreams Hill. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I think Jamal Hill's going to win.
All right. We've got 2 fights left to pick here. We've got Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Both of these, one fighter's out of Georgia, one fighter's out of Russia. Merab is a plus 210 underdog, and Umar is a minus 260 favorite. Umar 18-0. That is undefeated. Merab is the champion bantamweight title holder right now at 18-4. Took down Sugar Sean O'Malley to win that title right there. Tell us a little bit more about this fight before we make our picks and get to a break. Pick the main event.
These two hate each other. They do not like each other. They've been talking. Umar seems to be in Merab's head. I think Merab just wants to be respected, and Umar doesn't, I don't think. And I think he's going to demand it out of him, and I also think he's going to make mistakes. For a long time, I've been screaming, Umar's coming, Umar's coming, Umar's coming, and guess what?
You have, actually.
Yes,
yeah.
He is here, and I'm not shying away from it. I'm still going with him. I think he's the cleaner wrestler. I think he's the better striker, where Merab is just a fast-paced wrestle and keep you busy and not actually keep you down. You know, he kept getting back up. It's not clean wrestling. Well, Umar's clean, and he will keep someone down.
Yeah, he's a part of Habib's camp.
Yep. So that is his cousin, and so apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And unlike Habib, Umar and Islam both have hands.
Oh, shakala. Wait, you're saying
Habib doesn't have hands? He never did.
Oh, throwing shade.
No, he's just a goat at wrestling. That's really good.
Goat at wrestling, but has turned into the goat of UFC for some.
Coaching. Yeah.
Oh, okay, and definitely turning into the goat of coaching, but a lot of people would throw him up there in the goat
not my
status. No, not for you, but you're John Jones, and he's wrestled last time or fought, 2001 or whatever when it was. Caveman Rick, Merab or Umar?
Like I was saying earlier, you got the Nurmagomedov last name. It's like the first name in combat MMA sports right now. So how can you not go against Umar? So just because of that alone, because of the name and because of the pedigree, give me Umar to win.
Pedigree right there. Scooby Doo. I don't need to take a lot of time on this one. Okay, Shaggy. I'm going to go with Umar as well here. We'll sweep that one out, which I believe is only going to be which will be the first sweep on our picks thus far. When we get back, we'll pick the main event. Then we'll pick the NFL divisional round of playoffs. Then we'll pick the College Football National Championship. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Keep it locked in. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents
Wrestling Against Cancer.
Live men's and women's professional wrestling returns to Panama City on Saturday, February 8th at the Pay Charter Academy.
Come see the most exciting professional wrestling on the Panhandle.
Wrestling Against Cancer number 10. Proceeds go toward Ryan Holland's cancer expenses. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
More information, ESPNPC.com.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday evening. As we head into tonight, very light rain and mostly clouds, and a low of 55 with a gentle breeze out of the south-southeast around 9 miles per hour. For tomorrow morning, light showers at a temp near 67. In the afternoon and evening, lightly sprinkling and a high around 68. For Sunday, light showers and a high of 63. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-00 0453.
Every love story deserves a perfect beginning. At Tracy's Fine Jewelry, we believe that your engagement ring should be as unique as your love. Explore our vast selection of certified natural and lab-created diamonds, each hand-picked for brilliance and beauty. Whether you desire the timeless allure of one of our hand-selected engagement rings, or you'd like to custom design the perfect ring, visit us today and let our experts guide you in finding the ring of her dreams, because love deserves the best. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, where love sparkles.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Everybody would ask me why I came to Notre Dame. The truth is I came here to win a national championship.
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
Well, you'll be a Buckeye legend for life. How does that sound?
I just want to win a national championship.
The College Football Playoff National Championship, presented by AT&T.
The stakes get much higher.
Hit by Sawyer, ball's loose. Sawyer comes up with it.
Intercepted by Christian Graham, Notre Dame.
Coverage starts Monday at 6 on your home for college football, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
He's so old, he buys his clothes at the same store he buys his groceries.
Are you wearing a grocery bag?
I talk sports in my underwear. I'm going to wear nothing but a thong and a top hat.
Caveman Rick is part of the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back into the Doghouse, riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes, along with Caveman Rick, Johnny Yankee Seed, and the Bone Crusher. Don't forget to leave it locked in this Saturday as Coach Pearl and the number 1 Auburn Tigers take on the number 23 University of Georgia Bulldogs at the Stegman Coliseum. Coverage starts Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Tip-off at noon on your number 1 destination for college basketball and the Auburn Tigers, ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm David Hayes. Well, I already said that, so that doesn't really matter. We left off talking about UFC 311. That does really matter. So, Johnny Yankee Seed, we've got one fight left to pick, then we need to dive into the playoffs. We've got Islam Makhachev taking on Renato Moicano.
Yeah, it's not going to matter. It's domination. This fight, he's either going to finish him quickly or cruise to a decision. The only hope, Hanato just needs to come out and throw the
Hanato, my bad.
It's okay. He's going to come out and throw the kitchen sink, because if he doesn't, he's losing no matter what. So he better come out with a flying knee, start throwing some crazy elbows, try something, because this is going to get into deep water real quick. And the only part where I might have a problem with it is Hanato's tough. And I've seen him take a beating from RDA once, and who just put it on him, and man, everyone just kept cringing because please finish it, get it over with, but it never happened. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully it ends quickly. So Islam.
All right, you're going Islam, Caveman Rick?
I think I'm going to do the same thing. Vegas has Islam as a heavy favorite. This guy, Hanato, is, a substitute fighter, basically, that wasn't supposed to fight in this, main event. And so because of that, he's probably going to be a little bit out of his league. So, Islam Makhachev all day.
I hate that, because you changed my mind right there when you said substitute. Who was he supposed to be fighting? Aryam?
Sarukian.
Armin Sarukian. That was going to be a war, but Hanato was on the card already. He was going to fight Beneil Dariush, but this is a huge step in competition, and I would not go against this, Dave.
I hate it. I'm going to go with Islam. I don't want to. I was really going to pick Hanato, but then, as you mentioned, Caveman Rick, he's, being brought up to the stage without really, I don't mean this in the negative way, but earning his way.
Well, we did see stage. When was it Dan Iggy came in and substitute and had a good fight, a good showing
too, though, because Ige wasn't on the card for that fight.
No, he wasn't. But he got 12 hours or whatever.
But it's also not Islam Makhachev,
isn't it? You're right.
Exactly.
Right, and that's kind of levels. Like a different situation. So I wanted to go with the underdog, but and the fact is, isn't it kind of a low number? Plus 650, isn't that kind of a low number?
I think he should be. This should be the heaviest favorite on the card.
1,200.
Yeah, this should be the heaviest favorite on the card.
Right. That especially for Islam right here. I mean, we'll see. The records are for Hinato 25-1, for Islam 26-1. Who was the lone loss there to Makhachev?
He got caught early on.
So it was like before UFC.
No, he was in the UFC. It was in the UFC. It was a rant. Like the guy caught him with a clean shot out of nowhere, and it was. Trust me, it was a big time upset. Yeah, that guy he'll never get that back either, because that guy will never get there. So that's going to be one of those. Hey, he's going to be at a bar. Guess what I did?
Yeah,
because he threw a Hail Mary and caught it.
Yeah,
and honestly, I'll be rooting for Renato in this fight, because I'm not a big fan of the Habib family tree, not just because they're dominant. I have no problems with that. It's just their fighting style, which is really good. But it's just boring. It's boring. I'd rather see you guys bang, but I guess I could watch boxing for that. But I don't like watching guys hug all the time. So, I'm kind of stuck in a very tough position there. Let's get into the NFL playoffs here. Actually, let's start with Ohio State, Notre Dame. Make our picks for that, and then we'll move right into the NFL playoffs. Johnny Yankee Seed, Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Rooting for Notre Dame. I do not think they're going to win. I'm still picking Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Ohio State's kind of tiresome because of their usual dominance, and being at the end of the college. You say football playoff now, but just at the end, when you got the championship going on with a couple of teams like we had before the playoff, BCS kind of stuff. Notre Dame, obviously it's been a little while since they won, so because of that, I'll be rooting for Notre Dame to actually win the game. But I think Ohio State probably wins this one, probably kind of easy for the most part.
There's no one I hate more than Ohio State.
Did you pick Notre Dame or Ohio State?
Yeah, I'm picking Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
I'm
picking Notre Dame.
Oh, you're picking Notre Dame.
I'm picking Notre Dame. Ohio State I think is going to win the game, but I'm rooting for Notre Dame.
Rooting and picking are two different things, though, guys.
It's brutal.
I'm taking Notre Dame to actually win the game right here. I think that there were some chinks in the armor of Ohio State shown. I think that Marcus Freeman is going to come up with a good game plan defensively. I don't think that Riley Leonard is a better quarterback than Will Howard. I don't think that the roster of Notre Dame is better than Ohio State. However, I think that they're going to find a way to win this game. And sometimes when dogs need to do what dogs need to do, they eat. And I think that the dogs of Notre Dame are going to be eaten in this game. I think it's close. I'm going to go 27-24 Notre Dame. We'll find out Monday, but I guess I have at least one more opportunity to talk about that, and that will be Monday right here on the Afternoon Underdogs.
Right.
All right, moving on to the NFL divisional playoffs. We've got the Texans and the Chiefs. Chiefs are a 8-point favorite in this game. I think that it's already moved up to 8.5 here. Johnny Yankee, what do you think about this game?
Until someone proves me otherwise, you can't go against it, Chiefs.
Caveman Rick.
In this game, it's going to be hard to, pick against the Chiefs. Joe Mixon in this game is maybe questionable with his ankle. That's not going to, bode well for the Houston Texans. You got the Chiefs that basically have had 3 weeks off now, so they're all rested up. Any questions about Patrick Mahomes' ankle is probably going to be moot. So because of this, and they're going for their third in a row, I think the Kansas City Chiefs win this game.
I have to agree with you guys. I think we're going to sweep this one out. Listen, the Texans played some good football to take care and dispatch of the LA Chargers, but this is a different beast. Justin Herbert is not Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can hurt his ankle, roll his ankle, come out there and do better than what C.J. Stroud could dream of doing, and that's not a knock against C.J. Stroud. That's just a heap of praise, rather, on Patrick Mahomes. I've got the Chiefs winning. We'll move on to the next game, which is going to be the Commanders and the Lions. Johnny Yankee Seed, your thoughts?
I don't like the commies, so I'm never going to pick them.
You can call them the Redskins if you'd like to, if you don't want to call them the commies.
I like commies, though, too, so, yeah.
You like commies?
No, meaning, I like to hate them.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I like to hate them and call them that.
I was about to say, we're getting a lot of pro-Russia love right here.
No.
Привет! Нет,
Well, communism, just not Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Caveman Rick, who you got?
Even though like a lot of people associate that with. Let's see. In this game, I mean, the Lions, number 1 seed, have been playing pretty well this year. I think Jaden Daniels has made some noise. He had his, big win against the Buccaneers last week. I think it's going to be a lot tougher going against the Lions, a team that's, got some rest, playing pretty well. The Lions are going to play tough. They're not going to, give probably a lot of chances to the Commanders in this one. And because it's at in the Lions, house, I think, the Lions get this one at home. So give me the Lions all day.
Yeah, I think that Detroit covers the 10 points pretty decently in this game. I think that the Commanders score right up there with them. I think that the 55.5, which is a very high over-under, I think that they cover that. I think that, or they'll be over that. I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I still think that Detroit scores enough to win by more than 11 points as we move on to the next game, which will be the first game of Sunday right here on ESPN Northwest Florida, coverage starting at 1:30 for a 2 p.m. kickoff. It's going to be the LA Rams, who dispatched of and disposed of the Minnesota Vikings, taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Johnny Yankee, you want to start us off here before we get to this Philly?
I absolutely hate this game.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it.
Yeah. I'm going to watch it, but...
Yeah. I want to go against them, but I can't because I think it's going to snow, right?
They say it might. It's a possibility.
If there's any bad weather, it's probably them. They're an Eagle. I'm going to go with the Eagles, even though I hate that with every fiber of my being.
Okay, man. Yeah, I mean, like the Rams are coming. They're inspired because of what's going on in LA. I feel that they had a big win last week. Beating the Vikings, actually trouncing the Vikings pretty good, and getting on Sam Darnold with 9 sacks. However, I don't think that's going to happen again in this game. I don't see them repeating that performance against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the offensive line's a lot better. They'll protect Jalen Hurts a lot more. We got plenty of weapons, just like the Vikings did. I think we'll utilize them more along with our running game. Saquon's ready to get unleashed. He's having fun. He wants to win. It's a different, season compared to what he's played for before in New York. The guy, he's loving it. Jared Verse made a mistake criticizing Eagle fans and saying he hates the color green and white, and it just seeing it brings anger to him and makes him feel bad. So you didn't need any fuel to the fire coming into fuel to the fire. Here we go, going into Philly, huh? You guys are
that was not funny, Johnny.
Shouldn't have said that, Jared Verse. You're going to hear stuff from 8-year-olds that, you never thought you'd ever hear in your life. So it's going to get ugly for you guys. Oh, and if it does snow, get ready for the snowballs, y'all.
Johnny Yankee, I saw this other thing where UFC fighters should go undercover in Philly and wear the opposing jersey and just...
That'd be interesting because, some of those fighters will probably, get involved with some people, but I will tell you this about Philly fans, and I've seen this even down here with my own eyes, right? They stick together. And so, you might have an MMA, UFC type guy up in there, but 20 guys to 1, see what happens.
I'm taking Philly. What you got, Johnny Yankee?
Real quick, how do you feel about the Philly fan being canceled?
The Philly what?
Fan being canceled over the video with the girl.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, it was brutal.
Oh, yeah? I'll have to check that out then.
We'll have to find that out in a future episode of the Afternoon Underdogs. And then finally, speaking, our final game right here on ESPN Northwest Florida, possibly the biggest game of the NFL playoffs to this point, the Ravens and the Bills, MVP hopeful versus MVP hopeful, Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. Johnny Yankee.
I can't believe at some point, I don't know if it's changed, but at one point the Bills were the underdog. That's crazy. And possible snow, cold. I'm going with them.
Yeah, me, I'm still going with the Ravens.
You're going with the Bills?
Yeah.
At the start of the season, before the season started, I picked my Super Bowl matchup was Ravens versus the Eagles. I'm still sticking with that. Obviously, it's still in play. I think Derrick Henry is going to have a field day. He's going to run, whether it's snow and ice, whatever, and give me the Ravens.
David Neat says he's got the Chiefs, the Rams, the Bills, and the Lions. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens in this particular game because, hey, I love Derrick Henry. I think he's been doing a great job with the Ravens. I think they're unstoppable. Thank you so much, Johnny Yankee C, for coming in and breaking down UFC 311 for us. Thank you, Bone Crusher, for all that you do here. Sport in the Waffle House. Just remember, Jesus loves you. So do I. Y'all have a great evening, and we'll see you guys back here Monday at 4 p.m.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents Wrestling Against Cancer 10. Proceeds to help Ryan Holland. Stars to appear Mike Steele, Donnie B, AJ Stokes, Kelly Man, and exciting women's wrestling with T. Gaines, JC Black, and more. Wrestling Against Cancer 10. Saturday, February 8th at Bay Haven Charter Academy in Panama City. Tickets available at the door. More info at ESPNPC.com.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday evening. As we head into tonight, very light rain and mostly clouds, and a low of 55 with a gentle breeze out of the south-southeast around 9 miles per hour. For tomorrow morning, light showers at a temp near 67. In the afternoon and evening, lightly sprinkling and a high around 68. For Sunday, light showers and a high of 63. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest